this Saturday at Party Barn in Lake Elmo from noon to 2 p.m. Swing by their Pebble Beach Bay for our closest to the pin contest for your shot at a $100 Party Barn gift card. Plus, a hole-in-one all day could secure you an Eagle membership. Get the details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program on Common He's 10 to be. Hour number 2 begins, as always, with 5, 3, 4.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the welfare of the Wolves.
The Wolves started the night in a 16-0 hole and trailed by as many as 19 points before storming back in a 33-18 fourth quarter in a 104-103 win over the San Antonio Spurs last night at Target Center. Anthony Edwards, defended by Victor Wembanyama, hit the deciding bucket with 16.8 seconds to play. The Wolves have won 5 of their past 6 games. Common, what sticks out to you from last night's victory over Victor and the Spurs?
Well, that, and I just wish this was more often, but I talked about it here earlier in the show today and even brought it up last week. I guess I'm becoming convinced that it isn't just the Wolves. It seems like maybe there's an exception or two somewhere. I thought maybe it was the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, they were like 27-1 or 22-1, and then they went 6-6 over the last 12. I don't know if it's a lack of effort or they're getting bored because they've had such a, you build up so much equity and you have such a nice run. As you say, we can kick back now for a while and kind of relax a little bit, do some, what do we call it when you take days off? Load management. But I don't know. I think maybe part of the reason with them is because they're the defending champs, because they were playing at such a high level that when no matter who they play, they're getting the other team's best effort. And I mean, unless you end up being the greatest team that's ever been assembled, you're going to lose some games. But the Wolves have been in this habit of losing to terrible teams, even losing to good teams. But at least in those games, they generally went back and forth and they were close, and they would win their fair share of games against some of the better teams. And I can't help it because they themselves in the locker room say oftentimes it's just a lack of effort. That's what they say. It's lack of effort. Ant had the quote where he said, I just think we don't want to play these games. The regular season, they want to get right to the playoffs. But they wanted to play yesterday, even though they got off to the bad start. They rallied back. Gobert had a flagrant foul. He'll be suspended for tomorrow's game at Milwaukee. Gobert has now accumulated 6 flagrant foul points in the season, which results in a 1-game suspension. Every flagrant foul Gobert receives for the rest of the season will be a 2-game suspension. Here's what Gobert said. He goes, it's tough because I try to be contesting shots in the heat of the moment. I don't think there's at any time an intention of getting anybody hurt or putting people in dangerous situations. It's tough, but I got to play through it. Says Gobert also. I'll get to this. There's some really good stuff in this story. Fisher Up Factory West Side, the gamer from Chris Hines. So we'll do that later. I guess the ability to come back and play a really good team because San Antonio with Wembanyama and all the rest of their cast of characters, that's a really really good club, and to be able to come back and win like that. And was it 2 nights before? Who did they lose to? They had another
Cleveland.
Yeah, an uninspiring effort where defensively they were just not there. And it does annoy me. I guess it shouldn't because I'm not part of the ticket buying public, so I don't have to feel like I'm being cheated. I don't spend a lot of time watching their games, but I feel for the people that do. And as my job as, sports talk show host, I'm supposed to express what I feel. And I just think it's wrong, but maybe they were looking ahead. Maybe they had they had circled it on their calendar. We've got this game with Wembanyama and San Antonio. But to come back after being down 16-0 and then, the fourth quarter, they just totally dominated. And they basically shut Wembanyama down. his fourth quarter, he had very pedestrian numbers. So good for the Wolves. We'll just see what happens. We'll wait come April when playoffs start. We'll see where they go.
I will say, I did see the highlight of the Anthony Edwards when he had Victor Wembanyama on him, and a lot of the people are describing it as if like Ant beat him.
Yeah.
Which I guess technically he did, but he also got help. Like, he made a couple moves. He started to take it towards the hoop, and like he had a teammate that was basically setting a pick, and then his defender. So like Wembanyama couldn't stay with him. So it's not like he raced around Victor Wembanyama and beat him one-on-one.
Here's what I'll tell you. We'll take a little deeper dive into this. Maybe even next segment. Maybe 1:30. We got all day. You know, we got until 3 because no Rosen today. But there was a nice piece about Julius Randle, about where he's been, where he's going, where he's at. And I think maybe that has something to do. He is playing. When they made that trade for Randle and DiVincenzo for Big Meow, I was against it. I mean, I was like, Bodega Cat, he was the heart and soul of that club, even more so than Edwards. Edwards has become that now, and Edwards was probably pushing that way. I still thought it was still more Towns' team. It's now obviously Ant's team, but Randle, ever since he had the injury last year, when he came back, the Wolves went on that terrific run. He played really well, and he's not taking a step back. So really good to see, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Question number 2. NFL No Huddle.
Which team had the most convincing win this weekend? Buffalo, New England, Los Angeles, Chicago, or San Francisco?
Read them again slower.
Buffalo.
Nah.
New England.
Nah.
Los Angeles. Chicago. San Francisco.
Who did the Rams beat again?
Carolina. They beat them by 3, but they had to come back there in the fourth.
Yeah, that would be the one where you kind of...
Deuce called it. He said Carolina gave them...
And they did. That was their game to win. They had a lead late. I watched every game start to finish except last night when New England went up 16-3, it was over.
That was a boring game, too.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It didn't do anything for me. I guess the Bears, just because of the comeback, though I did not think San Francisco was going to beat Philadelphia. They are a team that they are suffering all sorts of injuries, right? They didn't get the big left tackle back. What's his name? For the 49ers.
Trent Williams.
They got Trent Williams back, and I think he played well. They have so many injuries on that club. I mean, they're missing Fred Warner. Now, they haven't had Fred all year, but you take off the best linebacker. I think he's the best linebacker in pro football. He's gone. I mean...
Well, their top 2 wide receivers.
Exactly.
So Ayuk hasn't played all year. Right.
Well,
and then Kittle got hurt in the game.
Yes, and Kittle's probably out for the season.
Yeah.
Sounds like. And, their other 2, the 3 linebackers they started the season with are all gone. Mm-hmm. All 3 are gone. They have guys that are practice squad players now, and it goes to show if you have depth, and it's not all about star players. A lot of and that's the NFL because there's just one and done. I mean, if Philadelphia and San Francisco played next week, it might be the opposite way. But I was kind of surprised. I thought Philly would win, but I was saying that sets up a rubber match between Seattle and San Francisco. That should be really good. But I would say the San Francisco one was, to me, the most surprising.
Despite blowing a big lead versus the Bears, the Packers are expected to give head coach Matt LaFleur a contract extension. Common, is that the right move for Green Bay?
Somebody texted me and said Head Cheese was on that, and he wants LaFleur gone. Badger Bob wants LaFleur gone. Badger Bob is he's a Packer fan, but he's one of the more rational Packer fans that I've ever come across. That's why I guess I like him so much. Here's what he said. I was a Richard to him, and you know me, I said, after they lost, I said, not as bad as the 2014 NFC Championship game, but mighty close. I'd rather finish 8-9-8. We talked about this earlier. He said, not even close to 2014. I said after the Cleveland-Dallas debacles that LaFleur would not get a contract extension from Ed Policy. I think he galvanized that with our 2025 finish, including 2 huge meltdowns in Chicago. Our Super Bowl hopes were gone in November when we lost Elton Jenkins and Tucker Kraft. Micah's ACL was icing on the cake. The good news is we're very young and talented. We need a big game caliber coach to take this talent to places. LaFleur will never go, Pack, go. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's well think, thunk out. He pays closer attention to that. I don't know if I can always blame it on the coach. For instance, the loss to the Bears in the last regular season games. Did he tell Romeo Dobbs to botch an onside kick recovery? I mean, is that on LaFleur? So many things are out of coaches' control. They were saying that. They were saying a lot of that about Jimmy Harbaugh too. We were talking about
John
that.
Harbaugh, yeah.
John Harbaugh.
This kicker makes the field goal.
Yeah, and there was the one where their tight end, what was his name?
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews dropped what would have been a game-winning catch. Or is that on the coach? Now, I understand sometimes you say, well, if they can't get over, though, maybe there is something there, and if you can't fire the whole team, you fire the coach. But I don't have a problem bringing him back. I think he's one of the bright young coaches in the league. They've made postseason play in Prittner every year. Has been there. Now, it's gone from, I think, back-to-back NFC Championship game appearances to back-to-back divisional round appearances to now getting bounced in the wild card round. But I don't know. I guess if you could get John Harbaugh, but Harbaugh played it cool too. He said, I'm going to wait till after the weekend before I start doing any interviews. I take a little bit of break. So a lot of teams are on hold because I think almost every team in the league that has a coaching opportunity,
first domino.
He is their first one. I think so.
Can we do like a 30-second answer?
Sure, absolutely. I don't know if I can pull that off, but I'll try.
Steelers host the Texans tonight. What's your prediction?
I want A-Raj to win. It's just crazy how it's come. I wouldn't say full circle, because full circle would be back to not liking him. But I actually like A-Raj now. Now that he's not with the Packers. I'd love to see A-Raj and the Steelers win, but I think that defense with the Texans is so good. But A-Raj is crafty, man. Not much he hasn't seen. So, postseason play, though, remember, he has not. Those NFC Championship games of the Packers, in his last few years, he made some real blunders. He did not play as well as he probably should have. But I'll take Aaron and the Steelers. That's what I'll do.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
The Fan wants to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. The keyword is bank. Enter now. KFAN.com. Calling all Wolves fans, join us for a Michelob Ultra watch party January 13th at Wildcats in Eagan. Hang with KFAN's Max Fuller, 7 to 9 p.m. Play trivia, win prizes, and enjoy drink specials. Full details at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Couple 1314 past Common Man program. A number of ways to get a hold of us. 1-800-320-5326 is our telephone number. We don't answer it. I don't even think it's connected anymore, but go ahead. Give it a shot. Then there's booth at KFAN.com, our email address. So it's sort of like you'd be better off sending me a message with a carrier pigeon. Now I'm getting a little bit closer to hearing what you have to say. There's the TalkBack iHeartRadio app. Download it. Make KFAN a preset. When you find the fan icon, microphone, corner of the screen, tap it 30 seconds or less to deliver some message. Then there's the nifty key, Brad, Sean, Brian, KFAN text line. This one says, at 1:06 on Monday, 1/12/26, Common said something nice about the Timberwolves. How did those words taste coming out of your mouth? Please nominate Common for the preposterous tournament. Preposterous statement tournament. I've said kind things about the Wolves. As a matter of fact, last week, you get praise when what you accomplish is praiseworthy. If you don't, you don't. What am I supposed to say when the team fails miserably and the leader of your team, Anthony Edwards, says, "I guess that's just Timberwolves basketball." I'm supposed to say nice things about that? Yeah, it's just Timberwolves basketball. Or when he says, I don't think we like playing these regular season games. We just want to move on to the playoffs. Tell that to the people that pay money to buy tickets for the regular season games. What am I supposed to pray? But when you do, and when you lose to terrible teams in terrible cities with terrible fans, you don't. And plus, it's sort of, I mentioned a headline from a Royce piece last week, where Royce was talking about Gopher football. And the headline was, I'm not a Gopher hater. I'm an old guy that has higher standards. Once you've been to the Western Conference Finals back to back, don't you expect better effort? A team that now where they double down on their effort in their journey. That we know how tough it is now. We just had 2 spectacular seasons, and we got beat 4-1 in the Western Conference Finals back-to-back years. We've got work to do. And instead, you say, well, we don't really want to play these games. Well, come on, man. Thunder don't say that. Now, I know they're 12-6 in the last 12, but did Golden State ever do that? How about Denver? How about teams that have won world championships? They don't all of a sudden say, well, we don't want to play these games. But what I'm seeing from the club now, especially beating Oklahoma City with a wonderful effort the other night, and then falling behind 16-0 at Bullseye and coming back and winning that game against the Spurs with Wembanyama and all, they could end up going to the Western Conference Finals. You're probably going to have to get by either the Spurs or the Thunder to get there. And that's leaving out maybe LeBron and the Lakers and Houston. And I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the West. So when they do well, we will throw them bouquets. Here's what Ant had to say. John Krasinski writes, he's beat writer, Wolves, Athletic. He writes this. It's a quote from Ant with the game-winning shot. It says, well, first, Ant had another shot. First, he backed down superb Spurs defender Stephen Castle, or Stephen. I don't know if it's Stephen or Stephen. He won the Rookie of the Year last year. He had a turnaround jumper over him on the baseline to put the Bulls up 102-100 with 2 minutes to play. That was Minnesota's first lead of the night with 2 minutes to go in the game. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for, with the Wolves down 1 in the closing seconds. Edwards got Wemby on a switch. They stared at each other just above the three-point arc, the best hope for American basketball, facing down the Frenchmen, who everyone believes will own this league one day soon. It's almost like the Revolutionary War, right? The French Revolution. To show how much reverence Wemby has already earned, one of the cockiest, boldest players in the league said he winced when he drew the matchup. It was a rare occasion when the scorer supreme didn't know where to go. Here's what Edwards said. Here's the quote. I was like, damn, do I get the shot? Do I drive at him? I was confused. I ain't never been confused. I ain't going to lie. I'm like poop. I'm going to throw it to Jew. I don't know what to do right now. After a moment of contemplation, Edwards crossed over, surged to his right, used a deft screen from Randle on Castle, then put on a wicked stutter step to get past Wembanyama to the basket. He was met there by Luke Cornett, but he lofted a scoop shot off the glass for the lead. Edwards said, I feel like he thought I was going to take a jump shot for sure. He probably would have blocked that bleep, so I had to drive him. For his part, Wembanyama said that he didn't think he had a play on Edwards' shot in that scenario. Here's what Wemby said. We had a rotation, and I don't think but he's French, right?
He is French.
Sacre bleu.
Oui, oui.
Sacre bleu. We had a rotation. I don't think I do a great French accent. I don't think I'm supposed to get that shot to contest it. I think I'm supposed to trust the help's going to be there and go rebound. So it sounds like you throw a teammate under the bus, but I guess you can do that if you're him. But I really liked what the work that Randle did on Wembanyama. It said, here's what he writes. It says, Chris is curious, but the Wolves have seen Randle respond when he's facing a big moment to climb, and there was none bigger than Mount Wemby. On the first possession after he entered the game, Randle made his presence felt. His pressure sent Wembanyama tumbling into the Wolves bench for a turnover, drawing a roar from the crowd. There was more where that came from. With 2 minutes to play and the Wolves up 2, Randle got a great contest on a jumper from Wembanyama, and he did it again on the final possession of the game, using his body to push Wemby off his spot and make him work hard for a look at the basket. Gobert said, it was incredible. It was incredible. I thought his competitiveness, his physicality was incredible. He took the challenge. We were down 15. Oh, now he's talking about Ant. I'm sorry. How did he jump to that already? Anyway, Oh, no, he was talking about Randle. I'm sorry. He was talking about Randle. He took the challenge. We were down 15, down 10. He took the whole challenge, affected the whole team. This is what the Wolves have been trying to pull from Randle consistently since acquiring him last season for big Bodega Cat. With Gobert manning the middle and Jaden Daniels swooping around the half court like a pterodactyl. Minnesota had been a defense first team for years. Getting Randle up to that standard has not always been easy. He has put together some great efforts, but he can be moody when things aren't going well and struggle to get stops. But he was really good last night. It said the Wolves have believed all along that Randle has this kind of two-way play inside of him. They have been leaning on him to give more at the defensive end just as hard as Randle was putting his shoulder into Wembanyama on Sunday night. And that leads to a story, Tenneby, and we'll get to it on the other side of the break as we up against the clock, where Randle talks about where he's been, where he's going, where he's at. And I hate to use myself as a comparison or as an example, but I know exactly where Randle's coming from. I'll explain. We'll do that on the other side of the break. It's the Common Man program with Common and Tenneby right here on the Fan.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Brian text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
So, you know the preposterous statement where PA goes, Deuce has still never heard the Is there a way you can send that soundbite to me to my phone so I can play it for Deuce? Or you could send it to Deuce? Is there a way to do that? Because he's never heard the He knows all about it, and he does it all the time, but he doesn't have the right inflection. He doesn't do it exactly right. And I want him to hear what it's like. Anyway, I was talking about Julius.
Well, is he listening live now? I can just play it on the air.
Okay, well, a closed circuit to Deuce. I don't know. He could be listening. He might not. He's heard it all before.
I think it's from this one.
What if we get a 2-0 lead in this game tonight?
Never bad to have the lead, but I almost think you're better off if this game stays scoreless for a long time. I think you're almost better off with the template we saw the last time these teams played, which was early April at the XL Center. And, keep it 0-0 as long as possible.
It doesn't.
When PA's questioning your Homer take.
It's bad. Talking Julius Randle. Traded to the Wolves last year in a blockbuster. I don't know. I know that Rosen pronounces either Doncic or Doncic, DiVincenzo or DiVincenzo. He says it just depends what mood he's in. He uses different pronunciations. Do you think he calls him Randle and Randle? Just depending upon what mood he's in? When they traded I wasn't a big fan of the trade. But I understood what they did. They, a lot of big contracts. They maybe just thought that was the way to go. And we still don't know if I still think it's been a good trade for both clubs. We'll see if either team wins a championship before the other, due in large part because of that trade. But when Randle first came here, I think he's like a lot of, I don't think he wanted to leave New York, if I remember correctly. It's like, well, I play here. It's where I live. It's where I work. Blah, blah, blah. People don't like to be traded. And it says here, story written by Chris Hine. This was over the weekend. It says, Randle enjoys a lot about his new home, specifically the food scene. The basketball fit, after some initial awkwardness last season, has been a good one. But Minnesota is also where Randle has done the work to improve his mental health. Here's what it says. That was my dark star moment. Randle said, I just wake up every day extremely happy. There's really no price on that. Says, before a game in New Orleans early in December, Randle arrived at Smoothie King Center 4 hours before a 7 p.m. tip-off. For more than an hour, he went through some work to start warming up his body for the night. He arrives 90 minutes before most of his teammates, something he started last season while recovering from a groin injury. He's never deviated from it, is what he said. Understanding what I felt like I needed to do to get myself ready for a game, get my body feeling right, getting my mind and all that stuff. 3 hours was the number. About 4:15, Randle took to the floor for his pregame workout. This used to happen closer to 5:45, and that's also a time when fans are filling into the arena, watching you and teammates and opponents, and want to share a quick word. Now at 4:15, the arena is empty. Here's what he says. Being there early before anybody gets there, being in a quiet arena, it just mentally felt like I was prepared and I was in the game before it even started. I didn't realize that part of it will have a bigger effect than the actual physical part. Randle went through a 20-minute workout with Wolves sports physical therapist Lisa Pataki and assistant Chris Hines. They were vibing to some Chaka Khan music. Pelicans players were ballasting at the other end. When Randle was done, teammate Anthony Edwards came to the floor, threw some Lil Baby music on a nearby speaker.
Lil Baby.
I love Lil Baby. He does a great song called Stress of Both Worlds. And Randle sat off to the side, sweating but smiling. Nobody was around him. For those few moments, Randle could just be himself. He said, it's one of the coolest, most peaceful things that you can do. He said of those early workouts, you can hear the way the ball bounces. You hear the way it goes through the nets. You hear just the crisp, like every single thing. It's like you're in tune and becoming one with the arena and everything before you even out there. So it's weird out loud saying it, but it's a connection with the game. And it sounds like it's something he's never done before. And maybe that is part of the reason why he is playing at a level now that, especially on the defensive end, consistently that we haven't seen. Now, again, I'm going by the people I trust. They tell me as I read the gamers, because I don't watch a lot of Wolves basketball. I might tend to watch a bit more now. And now that I realize that all the league just takes days, I'll just wait for games when they're playing teams they feel are on the same level as them. If they're going to play a terrible team, I don't know what kind of effort I'm going to get out of them. It's not worth watching. But this is where, to me, I don't like to draw analogies or comparisons, but I'm about to here. That's why I get to the radio station like 4 hours before the show. Okay. I guess that doesn't work.
I always love that.
I do it, though, when it comes to...
There's definitely not silence when you're around either.
There isn't a lot of silence. I do stand-up comedy. For those that didn't know. As a matter of fact, if you'd like to see my stand-up act, it's sort of a combination of, I don't know, who would I compare myself to? Probably a combination of Dennis Miller, Jerry Stiller, and Phyllis Diller.
I always love that
and
one.
Meat Sauce will join me along with Larry Mandela guy. They said, oh, sure, you can work New Hope Cinema Grill, and you can work the Mermaid, and you can work Forgotten Star, and you can work the Sanctuary and Grandma's in Duluth, but you'll never, ever work the Eagles Club in Rochester, where we're going to be there. Meat Sauce and I, along with Larry Mandela guy, that'll be one show only on January 31st. Tickets available at commonmanbook.com, commonmanbook.com. One show only. I think it's a 7:30 start. And then we're going to be in Mankato, February 21st at the legendary Cato Ballroom. Tickets available there by going to catoballroom.com/tickets. So I'd like to see you there for either one of those shows. But I get to the comedy shows really early. You can ask Sauce. If we have a 7:30 start, I'm there like 5 o'clock. I like being there, or I like getting there, taking a look at the stage, see what the lighting's like. I think I told you this, I do a set list where I write down, I just have 2 or 3 words for every bit I do. Like, chairs would be, I'm going to talk about the Vikings defense. So I just write chairs. So then I know what I'm going to do. Meat Sauce, hockey, soulmates, dogs dying. So I know what bits I'm going to do, and I just look down and then I do the bit. So I like getting there early. I really do. Just the opposite of Meat Sauce. He shows up just before the show starts, which is fine too.
You've got to be kidding me.
But I don't know. Like when you played high, you played at a high level. Were you one that liked to get there early, late, just when everybody else showed up? Did you have any routine you stuck to?
I always wanted to get there early, even as a coach now. Like, I think it drives Leo crazy that I want to be one of the first ones there.
Okay.
I will even say, I've had the pleasure of, being a credentialed media member for like the state high school hockey tournament. And to me, there's nothing better than like championship Saturday. And, I'm there working, right, the A game and then the double A game. So, you're there like 3 hours early for the double A game. Mm-hmm. And it's just pure silence.
Yes.
And I love the feel of that. And it slowly starts building. You know, the fans start entering the building. You
Yep.
start getting a little bit of a buzz of the noise, and the band starts coming in, and they start practicing. Like, I don't know what it is. There's just something about that atmosphere that I love every single time. A quiet hockey rink with just like the Zamboni going or something like that. Love it.
I like the, when you talk about the buzz of the crowd, we get that same thing when people are filing into Flops. I can't even say it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm with you. I just think it's cool.
Your next Flop, Sweat, and Tears tour, can you just get there early and just get us a digital video of you just sitting in the chairs in the Vikings defense and
I'll sit on the Vikings. I will do
getting ready for your show?
Yeah, I will because I do enjoy it. Now golf I don't get there early, but we talked about I like playing early in the morning when it's quiet. I just like that. So yeah.
The problem with golf is I love getting there early for golf because I like going to the range and hitting some putts and chips. But the round of golf already is so long, it's hard to justify getting there even earlier.
Yes. That's
at least when you have kids like I do.
You're absolutely right.
It's already time consuming enough.
Here's one a text message that says, that's been my philosophy on the Wolves for a while now. The Wild I watch every game. I can, but unless there's absolutely nothing, you need some background noise. Why would you watch the Wolves play a bad team? Goes for the whole NBA, to be fair. And I think that is part of the problem. I think it does get that way. This one says, who told you wanted to stay in New York? There's literally a video of fans ripping his picture off the wall in the arena, throwing it and stomping on it, along with other videos. But I guess home is home. I don't know. I thought I remembered him saying he was surprised by the trade and wanted to stay. Maybe I read the quote wrong. Just going by what I thought I read. Maybe it was wrong. I don't know. I know there was an adjustment period. There certainly is that. He admits it. And he says he's found the way he likes to approach it. This one says, just curious how many people at KFAN have seen your stand-up act. Have you? You've never gone to a show?
I went to one a long time ago.
Long time ago.
But I pretty much know all your material now. So then,
yeah. Well, it's changed a little bit.
I mean, I haven't read your book yet either.
No, and you can't get them anymore. They're all sold out.
Devastated.
They're all sold out. Where's the trumpet? My barber, haircutter guy, wants me to swap out one of my Flop, Sweat, and Tears tour shirts for one of his salon T-shirts. I said, okay, sure. Don't tell Meat Sauce, though, because we split the profits. I'm just going to take one. Just not tell Meat Sauce. By the way, when I read that story about out of the Fish Fry Factory West Side back from 2000 when, Barrera was talking about how I'm never around to do this. I was doing free show for Little B and Abbott. They were doing the old bit. Well, let me guess, you got nothing today. I got plenty today. I'm going to read this. And then Little B, every time I'd read something, she'd go, Meat Sauce. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I did this is me. I did it 30 years before Meat Sauce. I've said this before. I was Meat Sauce before Meat Sauce was Meat Sauce, and he's Meat Sauce.
Just not as big of a head.
I don't have as big of a head. And I have a little bit more hair. And the biggest difference between the two of us, though, is I would never consider exploiting my children to prop up sagging ratings. I mean, he's, Louis everywhere on Insta, on Twitter. It's just, I just don't even understand.
He's a rube.
I don't know how you do that. You just use your kid over and over and over.
He has no chance.
Yeah. You're wild. Did they have a mixed bag over there? Did we win and lose, or what did we do? I looked at that.
Well, because I was out of town and had our own hockey stuff going on, I did not get to watch either game. I did see the highlights, but I'm not going to be able to give you a thorough breakdown. I think it was Thursday night, so you probably still had a show after the Thursday night game where they won in Seattle. Mm-hmm. They won that one in overtime with the Matt Zuccarello overtime game winner.
Okay.
And then they blew 3 leads against the New York Islanders Saturday night, and that was their first game back at home after the longest road trip in franchise history. And they lost to the Islanders in overtime. So 3 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, you can't win them all.
Quinn Hughes had 3 assists again Saturday night.
3 assists?
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of...
You didn't want them.
Well, I overreacted. I see it on CBS Sports. They're the king of putting lists together. But one of the bits they do is they do they'll throw out 3 or 4 different topics and they'll say, is it an overreaction? Right? Like, as a matter of fact, today was, they had they do this after, especially after the playoff games. Let me see if I can find it right here. Oh, by the way, yeah, I did. I mean, I kind of looked at the first, results, and I saw that it seemed as though Vancouver hadn't lost. They had a better record 5 games after the trade than the Wild did, and it seemed like some of our players that we traded to them were instrumental. And Quinn really hadn't done a whole heck of a lot, but apparently he's doing just fine right now. I guess I can't find any of them now, but they'll do if something happens in a game. Well, they say, is it an overreaction to what happened? Or is this something, it's sort of like when you do the trend or mirage kind of a thing, right? And so, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a trend or mirage with Quinn, but the Wild are wasting no time or money on promoting Quinn. You've seen the billboards with Quinnesota everywhere, right? Quinnesota. Get it? Minnesota. Quinnesota.
Oh, yeah, got it.
In case you were wondering what that was. But yeah, they wasted no time or money promoting his arrival. So, yeah.
He's a star.
Yeah.
And I know this is you're gonna make fun of me for this. I'm always fascinated with the National Hockey League. It's the highest level, best skaters in the world, if you take away figure skaters, best skaters in the world. And then to see one guy who is like a man amongst boys when it comes to skating, he's playing with all the best players in the world.
Yep.
And like you watch a Quinn Hughes power turn. I don't even know if we'd call it a power. He is more efficient at changing direction than anyone in the league. And it's probably not close.
What's a power move?
A power turn?
Power turn.
Basically just like if I was skating to you and I quickly curled back towards myself.
Like Mark Rosen when he changes his take.
Very much. Well, he's more backpedaling, which Quinn Hughes is very good at doing the backward skating as well.
Okay.
But the efficiency in his ability to turn and escape is mind-boggling to me because he's with the best players in the world and looks so much better than them at it.
We, or you, have brought up on a couple of occasions, and a lot of other people that I trust agree with you that, Garrett's probably going to do something else because now we've got money to play with. Next year we probably won't have as much because that's when Kaprizov's contract kicks in. And
that goes up to $17 million.
And then we got to hope to re-sign Quinn, and he doesn't come cheap. And there might even be some other players as well. I'm not sure what
it'll depend how much the salary cap goes up too. I mean, they're banking on the salary cap going up a lot.
And so, and look, especially when it's not my money, it's Craig Leopold's. Well, it's Craig Leopold and his wife's money. I'm all for it. Go. And, I think you said, ideally, if you had the genie's bottle, you rubbed it. She said you have 3 lamp, and she said you have 3 wishes. Your first one would be for 3 more wishes, and your second one would be for a first line center. Would you say that would be number 1 if you could on a wish list?
Yeah.
And it's kind of you're waiting to see what frontline centers might be available. When is trade deadline time in the National Hockey League?
I think it's like a weekend in March. I don't remember the exact date, but I think it's early March.
So there's
obviously, but they have the Olympic break coming up here in about a month or so, and that's going to be I think that'll stop things for about two weeks. But
let me ask you a question. I don't follow Olympic hockey as closely as I once did. Do we have any Wild players playing in it?
There's a lot of Wild players playing in it.
Okay.
So just for USA alone, you have Quinn Hughes, Matt Boldy, Brock Faber.
Okay.
We have a bunch of Swedes. Both our goalies are playing for Sweden. And so is Joel Erikssonek and Jonas Brodin. Nico Sturm is playing for Germany. Is that it? That might be it. Russia don't have a team in the Olympics. Otherwise, Kirill Kaprizov, obviously. And then, Matt Zuccarello is the best player in Norway, and it's not even close, but they didn't qualify for the Olympics.
Okay.
So Kaprizov and Zuccarello are not in the Olympics. Did I catch it? Did I say Joel Erikssonek?
I think you did.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Is the who selects the players for the All-Star?
Each country has their own Olympic Committee. So Bill Guerin was the GM for the USA.
Oh.
So he had input from others.
Right.
But ultimately, he made the final decision on those for USA.
Yeah.
Just one other Wild thing. I know I think I talked about this last week, but I'm just going to bring it up because the Wild play the New Jersey Devils tonight, 7 o'clock, Grand Casino Arena. Mm-hmm. That's the team the other two Hugheses are on.
Oh,
and
right.
If you're a Wild fan, the fear was always Quinn's going to go leave to play with Jack. So that's why we need to root against New Jersey Devils. We want them to be bad, so Jack's going to be like, well, this is going nowhere here. I need to get out of here so that Jack will come here. Right now, the Devils are 6 points out of a playoff spot and are not having a good season.
Okay.
So let's just bury them further into the basement and get jacked out even more.
Would it be safe to say then, too, just even when I say long term, I mean next season or two, that the Wild look like they got a brighter future than New Jersey? I don't think things can change, but would you say?
Well, I mean, you would have thought going into the season, New Jersey had a very bright future.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know what's happened to them there. I know the other Hughes brother, Luke, has not played very well for them.
Okay.
So I think it's a little surprising they are where they are, but let's just hopefully they keep descending to the bottom of the Eastern Conference so Quinn will get Jack to come here.
You know, and he has no capitalize, you know Quinn is a good skater if he amazes someone as good as Tenneby, because as you did once say, you were in the same ballpark as a lot of NHL players when it came to skating.
Yes.
So if his skating impresses you.
His is slightly better than mine.
Yeah. How's your power turn? No, what is it called? Power turn?
Yeah, well, I mean, Quinn's a little shorter than I am, so he can make it a little bit more efficient.
All right.
I'm a little bit more lumbering out there.
But you don't always take a back seat to a lot of power turns. I know. That's for sure. We'll take a break. We'll come back with one more hour to go here on the Common Man program here on The Fan.